What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy Van, the Shameless Geek, and welcome to Dude and His Drones. This is a new channel that I'll be producing once a week, but my first episode here is a little impromptu. I saw that Yuneec released its newest hexacopter drone, and I didn't see much info out there, so I decided to jump on top of the discussion. Real quick, one of my upcoming episodes is tentatively titled, I'm going to let 30 people shoot at my drone. So the number of people is still pending. Stay tuned, subscribe if you want to see that video. Anyway, so the Yuneec Typhoon H3 with Leica Ion L1 Pro camera. Ooh, it's a mouthful. So developed in conjunction with Leica, the 1-inch CMOS sensor. It's 20 megapixels, up to 4K at 60 frames per second, and up to 100 megabits per second, which is on par with the Phantom 4. It's got integrated 3-axis gimbal with an unrestricted 360-degree view. That's something that both the Mavic and the Phantom 4 are missing. It's optimized, Leica optimized and calibrated. It's got AW auto white balance, color reproduction, sharpening, denoising, all the bells and whistles. Lycra calibrated DNG profile. Lossless digital zoom. This is one of the big ones that makes it similar to the Mavic 2 Pro, which uses a 5.5K sensor and downsamples to 4K for its field of view mode, and then it crops it to 4K on the sensor for its HQ mode. That's how you get a slight crop in and kind of a zoom effect with M2P. It's probably going to be working the same way with the new Yuneec. It's got 10-bit Y-log video mode. Y-log is just a log mode with their Yuneec in front of it. It's easy to color grade, or you can throw a LUT on it, take it to Rec 709 or sRGB. It's got semi-automatic shutter, ISO, EV, all those fancy things. But one of the things I wanted to touch on was the WDR, the Wide Dynamic Range, which is a fancy word for HDR. It's an in-camera technique that processes DNGs and JPEGs utilizing exposure bracketing. That's where you take 3 to 5 photos at exposure values above and below 0, which leads us to one of its new modes, auto exposure bracketing, which does the same thing, but you have to take those files out of the camera and put it in a post-processing program like Lightroom or Photoshop to get that HDR look. Short JPEG intervals for hyperlapse videos, so this is something that's new to Yuneec. So some of the difference between the Mavic 2 Pro, it's got some fairly similar specs to the Phantom 4 Pro, and close to the Mavic 2 Pro. It can do 4K 60p, which the M2 Pro can't do, but it does 30p and 2.7K 60p. But the Phantom 4 does 4K 60p. All right, so differences between the M2P, the Phantom 4 Pro, and the Yuneec H3. It can do 4K 60p, which the M2P lacks, but the Phantom 4 has. Slightly wider field of view. It's a 23 millimeter equivalent on a full frame, about 91 degree field of view versus the 28 millimeter, about 77 degree field of view on the M2P. 24 millimeter, about 84 degrees on the P4P. The Yuneec weighs more at 2 kilograms versus 907 grams for the M2P and 1,388 grams for the P4P. This should give it a slightly higher wind resistance and stability, especially with the 6-rotor design, which also allows for single rotor failure. So one of the rotors goes down, it'll land with just 5 rotors. It doesn't seem to have aperture control, which is kind of a big deal. One of the things that the P4P and the M2P both have is the ability to go from f2.8 to f11, so you can really control how much light is being let in. So it doesn't seem to have that, so it's stuck with an f2.8 aperture. It's not super important if you're only doing photos, but when you get into any videography or long exposure photography, you need to utilize filters, which at this time we're not sure if third parties like Freewell, Tiffin, or Polar Pro are going to support this camera. It utilizes an ultrasonic forward sensor, which is super cool, but it's missing the rear and side sensors. At least the literature doesn't say anything about it. I always thought ultrasonic would be a better way of avoiding obstacles, but they don't utilize 360-degree sensors. So it does come with a smart controller. that utilizes an Android OS and has a 1 mile range with a maximum of 25-minute flight time. So those are all the kind of differences that I've noticed between the M2P, the P4P, and the H3. So the question is this really a Mavic killer or a Phantom killer? Well, it kind of is a Phantom killer because Phantom's done. If you go on the website right now and you look at the Phantom 4 Pro, it says we've stopped making them. So yeah, we've killed off the Phantom 4 Pro. But how does this compete with the Mavic? I'd say it doesn't really compete with the Mavic because it's so much bigger. Whereas the Mavic is a much smaller form factor. It's easy to pack, easy to go. It does a lot of the same things, so I really don't think this is going to affect DJI's market share as far as the Mavic goes. But other things like the Phantom and could even get into the Aspires or Inspires range because it does have a $2,199 price tag. But with that, you get some things that you wouldn't normally get at the $1,799 price tag that the M2P is at right now. You get the smart controller, which we'll see how good that is. But this is all kind of speculation. We're not sure yet exactly how great the H3 is going to be. I'm looking forward to it. Maybe Yuneec can send me one so I can try it out, compare it to the M2P and the P4P. But that's going to be it for this video. Appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Let me know what I missed down in the comments below. Tell me what you didn't like, what you don't like, what kind of ideas you guys might have for future episodes. Like I said, I got the one planned. I have a few more planned, but I don't want to give everything away. But that big one is going to be the one where we're going to shoot at my drone. I'm even thinking about getting some tannerite and seeing if we can maybe blow it up. What do you guys think? Anyways, let me know. Appreciate it, guys. Like and subscribe.